What's going on, guys? My name is Jack. Welcome back to the Adobe Photoshop Masterclass course. We are doing a mini lesson. So, what I've prepared for this mini lesson is something we can do quickly together so that basically we got a completed project under our belts, done and dusted right off the bat. So, I want to take this 4K screen of me, basically a screenshot in my office of me just pointing to a screen, and I want us together to change what's on the screen to the Photoshop Masterclass course promo graphic right here. And I also want to change our hoodie right here so that it matches the same color as this. Now, funny enough, that's actually easy enough to do in a mini lesson, and that's what we're going to break down right now. So, go ahead to the resources, download the 4K screen, 4K by screen 0, kind of a weird name for it, but you know, that's my style. I name some random stuff. Let's just literally drag and drop that into Photoshop, and it'll create a brand new, up here you can see it'll create a brand new document entirely based around the dimensions of that specific image. So it copies everything. So we know this is the perfect setup to do what we got to do. Now, first, what I want to do is I want to actually take away this screen. So let's actually go over here, and I want to direct your attention to the pen tool, which we can clearly select. And the pen tool works just like, you know, a normal sort of pen would. We sort of, you know, draw basically. So we can actually create a point. That's how this works. So we can click up here in the top left, right, and it creates a blue point. And now we can come down here, still on the side of the screen, and create another point, and it's gonna have created a line from there to there. But if I press Control Z just to undo that, it's looking like we want to make it a little bit in so that we don't have any of this screen showing. So just a little bit into the border, not quite on the screen. I'm going to press a point up here and a point down here. Then I'm going to actually go ahead over here, create a point right by this thumb, because we know that we actually have to create a bit of a rounded one right now. What I can do is I can click and hold, and we're able to actually drag that out. Now I'm going to press Control Z to undo that so I can zoom in so you can really see what's about to happen. But I'm going to get my pen tool, click here, click and hold, and you see how we're able to actually shape out a pretty cool little line right there. And then actually what we can do is press Control Z again, just literally draw that out, and press down here and draw that out as well. And then we can actually come over here and create another straight point right there. So we've basically done a rounded situation right here, which is literally a click, hold, and drag up. And now we've chopped that out. So now we can actually get our pen tool as well, come up here and press another point, and then seal it off by conjoining it, right? And then pretty much we've got a square chop out of the screen, which actually has done nothing yet. What we got to do to make it kind of take effect is right click, go to make selection, press OK, and then actually delete that background. And then what we've got is this checkered sort of situation, which basically says that it's transparent, which means that if we exported it like this, there would just be nothing over the actual screen itself, right? But that's literally perfect for our situation, because now you guys can actually get the PSMC, which stands for Photoshop Masterclass, and download that from the resources, drag and drop it over here, and it's going to appear about that size. Now, first thing we want to do is drag it below layer 1, because we know that we want it in here, and then we can press Control T, which gets up our actual adjustments, bring it over here, and actually just enter that and use our zoom tool down here to actually zoom in so that we can get this precise. Again, press Control T, and now I want you guys to go to the corners and not just drag, but actually hold Control while you drag. And look at that. That gives us the ability to create sort of a more 3D warp. And you can see exactly what I'm doing. I just want you to drag each corner while holding Control the whole time, each corner to each individual corner. And what we're doing here is we are essentially replacing the screen. And just like that, instantly, you, me, and McGee have whipped up a screen change, and it says Masterclass, and just like that, it is at the right angle that would be believable that it would actually be looking like that, and overall, it's looking 10 out of 10. Now, there's only one final thing we got to do, and that's change the hoodie color to match the actual same color. Now, that is actually easier than you'd think, and we can actually do that using the selection tool. So if we go up here and hold, we want to make sure that it is selecting the quick selection tool. Then we can actually select our layer and actually just click and drag. And the quick selection tool is pretty smart, right? It uses some AI to figure out what's going on, and basically it's pretty damn accurate at selecting specific colors. So we can go run this over the orange, and just like that, it's made a nice selection entirely over the orange. And then we have the ability to go up here to adjustment layers and get hue/saturation. click hue/saturation, and this is going to blow your mind right now how easy this is. It's now created a sort of hue saturation mask just around the hoodie, and we can now scroll this slider and bring it over to that sort of more blue type of situation, just like the masterclass. And you know, we've been able to change the colors just like that, and it's literally that simple. It's pretty crazy, and it's pretty overpowered. So we can actually bring up the saturation right there, make sure the blue's a properly represented blue. Maybe we want to bring it down like there, maybe the saturation up a little bit, and overall we have brought that to a more bluish type of color. And we could actually go over here and basically, you know, you could spend a little while tweaking it down to be perfect, but overall I think I'm gonna probably just leave it around like there, right? So we've changed the blue. It's looking cool. Now there's one final thing I want to do, which is actually select PSMC, then hold shift and select the top layer, which highlights everything. Press Control T, which brings up our borders, and just drag it out a little bit so that the screen is hitting the edge. You see that there's oh, Control Z to undo anything. You see that there's this little doggy right here. We want to actually drag this out so that the doggy isn't even being shown. We can drag that up right there. And we've got that looking good. And then I want to actually just do a color correction over the top of it. So we go up here, select brightness and contrast on the adjustment layers, and just bring up that contrast a nice bit. And the brightness I could probably leave, but if we go over here to the vibrance, click the vibrance, and just bump up that vibrance maybe to about 50, something like that. And just like that, guys, we have created a pretty cool little promo graphic right off the bat. Obviously, we know for a fact that we can drag and drop the 4K screen in here, and we could actually go ahead and double click the title of this and rename this before, right? So we rename this before, and just like that, we've got the before right here, and we can actually click this little eyedropper, which turns off the visibility of the layer, and we see the after situation, which is much nicer. You can even see the color grades just made it a little bit more impact to it. And overall, guys, that right there is the mini lesson done and dusted. You and me created a Photoshop Masterclass promo graphic together. Let's get started with the course, guys. It's going to be good.